Hi everyone, welcome to JMC Jams, Season 4, Episode 9. We're nearly at the end of the semester, end of the season, and we're kind of sort of building up on different networking events and networking activities that our student organizations are doing. So today we're going to be talking to Jasmine from the Ad Club. Apparently Jasmine has not been on JMC Jams before. It's your first time, which is awesome. And we're going to talk about a few different things that have been happening over this last couple of weeks. Actually, it's been a lot, to be honest. So we'll see how these networking events are really good for for the students as they're graduating, what it means for community growth as well within the organizations, and really kind of how interesting they are as well. So, hi Jasmine.
Hi.
Hi. So a bit about yourself as well. What's your role in the Spartan Ad Club?
Yeah, so for Ad Club, I am actually the vice president right now and will be the future co-president for the next school year. Mm-hmm. So I help out Michelle and all the exec board with planning all the events, maintaining the social media feeds, contacting guest speakers for our events, and also we just planned the New York trip that we just went on recently. And yeah, all that kind of stuff. And
interestingly, right, for probably the first time in Ad Club history, you're not an ad major.
Yeah, I'm not. So I'm a communication studies and economics double major.
Wow, okay. And it just shows how kind we are in JMC because we're allowing you to be the co-president, even though you're not one of the gang. But I guess you're an honorary member of the gang, right? No, but thank you so much for everything that you do for Ad Club, because honestly, lots of between you and Seema and the rest of the new exec board, I think it's, we're going to be continuing to hopefully to snowball, right?
Yeah.
Post-COVID was a difficult time for all the student clubs, and I think that we're finally starting to build on the momentum, And the PRSSA certainly has done. And they had a networking event the other night that you were at.
Yeah. So they had a little, I think it was Career Forward is what they called it. So it was like a little career fair where they had some people from Waymo, Stanford, the 49ers, I don't want to say anything else because I might butcher it because I don't remember exactly, but they did some fireside chats and an opportunity to network with them. And it was just like a way where students could, hear their perspective on the different industries that they're all in regarding PR. Mm-hmm. And just how to break into it, a lot of them were seniors and juniors, I would say, when I was looking at, the room. So it just was a good opportunity for them to network and just, get their faces shown,
Yeah, I mean, I helped with the setup, and then I put my head round the door a few times. It was buzzing.
Yeah, it was a lot of people.
Yeah.
It was great to see that. I think, having more people there, it just means more opportunity to meet people. Mm-hmm. I met some girl who wanted to work in sports actually, and I currently work here for SJC Athletics. So I kind of, gave her some advice and, some opportunities that we have here that are open. So it was just a good opportunity to meet new people.
Yeah, and of course it was done in partnership with the PRSSA, which is the parent organization.
Mm-hmm. I know, it was actually really cool too, because apparently the secretary, I believe, for the PRSSA, he works at AMD as a PR manager. So, and I'm actually working at AMD this summer as a communications intern. So I told him about it. I was like, hey, starting up your conversation, but I heard that you were at AMD, and I told him I'd be working there, and he thought that was so cool. And he knew my manager apparently, and we're working at the same office, same building. So he was like, definitely in the summer when you join, let me know, and we'll just have another chat.
Yeah, and I mean for you personally as a comms major, PR is kind of one of those subjects that it sits sometimes in comm, most of the time it sits with us. In other campuses, it actually is a specialized track within a comms major.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I think I do have some experience with that too as well, because even for my job at SJC Athletics, my job is to write all the press releases for the women's tennis team here, and also just for some awards that students get. So I do have, that's PR, I do have some experience in that. And we do also have to whenever players want to, whenever people want to interview the players, student media, we do need to be there and listen in on those and just it has to go through us because we are their main contacts. Yeah. So it is kind of like a PR perspective when you look at that.
Yeah, super interesting how you're majoring here, but then you're dabbling in PR and of course in within the advertising community as well.
Yeah.
And of course our ad club has got that close connection with the Ad Club Silicon Valley, right? The AAF Silicon Valley. chapter. I don't want to call it the grown-up chapter, right? But it's like the industry-facing part of the organisation, and it was only last week. I mean, wow! Isn't like it's crazy. It was actually a week ago that we celebrated the ADDYS Awards together with them.
I know, and I even won one, I think. I like submitted one of my articles because our advisor really wanted us to. So I was like, okay, I'll just like submit something for fun. I didn't think I'd win, but I got something, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it was a great way to like meet more, professionals in the industry. We met some people from Clear Digital, Liquid and Solid, I believe. So that was just like really cool, to meet like more vets from the industry because they've been in there like for more than 20 years probably. So it was, and this was like the first ADDYS, no, my second ADDYS that I've been to. So it was kind of cool to see, like take place in a different setting and an environment and just, be in the perspective where like I was actually submitting my work and
winning.
And winning. Yeah. It was a small word, little victories. Yeah.
Well, but it's great though. Sometimes you don't know unless you submit something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it was great to go into it as like a perspective with like someone who submitted an award than just as a guest, as a visitor, Because I remember in the previous times I've been to the ADDYS, I was only just as like there to support, through Ad Club.
Yeah. And last year, of course, we held it here on campus, and then this time around it was at Loft Bar and Bistro in downtown, which was a great venue, I think, for that kind of event.
I know, yeah. I've never seen it. I've never been there as like a bar or bistro before, so now next time if I ever go back there and be like, oh wow, I can only picture the ADDYS.
Yeah, well that's it. But it's a great social space, right?
Yeah.
And it did mean that like the networking, the interaction between you guys and the industry guys was kind of. It was almost seamless. It was a really nice vibe as well, I think.
No, it did feel a lot easier, I would say. Like, I think also because 117 is also a class, I do feel like I have to be like a bit more like, I feel like I'm in a class, like I'm sitting on a lecture or something, or like some, like some workshop we're doing. But because I was at the loft this time, like I did feel like I could socialize more and, like converse a bit more freely. So that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, in the past we've also had it inside some agencies, like here in San Jose. But I know what you're saying there about it. It's it's a class. It's where we do our work, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same when you go into the agency itself. I mean, it's all, unless they have a special like events room, it's all set up with their desks and things, and that's kind of a little bit awkward, or it can be. So I think that this venue was ideal, and kudos to Velen for organising it. Of course, is your advisor and the current president. So that was it was a good show, and it was great to see. I mean, you won one of the awards there, but then also we had 2 students who graduated over the last few years who have now been doing portfolio school, so they've been in Book 180, and they won ADDYS at Silicon Valley as well.
Yeah, I remember Kristen was great because I actually remember when my first year joining Ad Club, I was a freshman, and she was the first person I talked to in Ad Club, and I felt just so like she was very like warm, and she wanted to like get to know you actually genuinely, and like wanted you to be part of Ad Club, and she just made a great environment for the club. And then there were officer applications, so I applied, and I was just stuck on with her for the whole exec board for the rest of my college life now. And she's graduated now, and it's crazy,
And she won, of course, an ADDY some ADDYs actually, when she was still on the undergrad here. So it's nice to see that kind of continuation. And hopefully she'll continue to win awards once she gets into industry too.
Yeah.
And Mary Kay as well. She was before your time, but not that long ago.
Yeah.
And she did Book 180 as well.
Oh, wow.
And again, that's she won 1 ADDY, I think, this time around. But it's really nice to see that kind of the continuation of students from the undergrad through the Ad Club, right? Going and lots of still continuing to be involved with the Ad Club Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
No, and so on the point of Book 180, that was the other networking event that we've had happening over the last couple of weeks with you guys, right?
Yeah, we had a portfolio camp where students could come in and just have their portfolios and resumes reviewed by you as well, and also Book 180. We had also Belen and Tina from JMC help us out, and that was I think a great event. We have done guest speaker events in the past for like our big spring event, but we kind of wanted something that was a bit more interactive this time and a bit more hands-on. And I remember Michelle was saying, our president was saying that she had like Adobe had a very good event that was sort of similar to that, and she wanted to have that implemented here kind of. So that's what we did, and I think it was really great because I talked to all the students afterwards, and they also they learned something like they all thought it was great. They all took something away from it, which is what we wanted. So
Yeah, no, it was really interesting. It was nice to be asked really to kind of like sort of review portfolios there, especially because I'm not in the portfolio class anymore, you know.
Yeah.
So it was good to see some of the students coming through that and seeing what kind of work they put together and just offering a few words of advice here and there. So yeah, I mean, we had the Adobe ambassadors were there as well. They gave a presentation.
I know, yeah. I've actually been wanting to become an Adobe ambassador for a while because I actually use Adobe softwares like Photoshop and InDesign for my work. And that also just personally helped me a lot too because I have been meaning to learn more about the program and what they do. So it was really helpful to me. And yeah, they just talk more about the opportunities that they give students and how you can apply, which I thought was really insightful. And Figma was there as well, so it was just a great little mixing area.
Yeah, Friends of Figma were there, weren't they? That's true. That's true. And of course they were searching for a new faculty advisor, and one of our faculty members is going to be the advisor for the Friends of Figma Club.
Oh, nice.
So we've got Tina with the Adobe Club. We'll have Kylie with the Figma Club, and then of course, all of these kinds of interactions are really important for our disciplines. These are the tools that we're using, so you guys need to be not more than familiar with them, right?
Yeah, no, I think it is really important, especially if you're in the creatives. I would say, for Photoshop, use that for graphics, and even if you're not a designer per se, I do think it is good to have basic knowledge of those, because let's say your designer doesn't have time to fix something and you have the very just minimal knowledge, that's enough to even tweak some things around, use the lasso tool or something, just fills things in. And even for copy, for I know for us, we write our record books at work using InDesign. So people do use InDesign for page layouts. Even I know the Spartan Daily and the Spear, I believe that they use InDesign for their layouts. So knowing that for copy is also really important, I think.
Yeah, totally. And as you said before, your designer may not always be able to make that correction, and it could be something really simple like a typo, right?
Yeah.
A typo in your headline or in your body copy. Having access to the InDesign file or the Illustrator file means that you can just go in and do it, but you need to know how to do it.
Yeah. So I think even if you don't you're not a pro, it's good to have some basic knowledge.
Yeah, totally. So take ADV 93 because you're going to learn how to do that there. And so, we had the ambassadors were there, the Friends of Figma, and of course, one of the new partnerships that we've been developing was HL from from Oakland.
That was really cool because even when I was looking up on HL, what they did, I was so shocked to find out that they actually made that Toyota ad with Brock Purdy. I was that's so cool, and I think that would be, kind of interesting for people to hear about because they are a well-known agency that. It makes sense. And I think it was kind of good to close off with that because people, they spend time getting their portfolios and their resumes reviewed. And with that knowledge in mind, so fresh in their brains, they can kind of understand from a recruiter's perspective, what, they expect to see on people's portfolios and resumes. So I think it was kind of easy for them to apply that knowledge, right then and there.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to build on that relationship, and it'll be more than just zooming a couple of creatives in. And again, everything is interconnected, right? I mean, this is the fun thing about our industries is that it's almost like a set of Lego bricks. We're all kind of meshed together, making this kind of I don't know, big castle or whatever. But you mentioned HL, actually been the agency behind the Brock Purdy Toyota campaign. So I believe that was one of the live briefs that went through Book 180.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I believe that they had that as a brief last year for one of their classes. I can't remember which one it is. So it's kind of everybody is working together, knows each other, and so on. And a lot of that is that connection between the portfolio schools, the people in industry, and people in education. We're all kind of we've all had that level of involvement, either working in agencies and or also teaching in portfolio schools, and so kind of it all comes back full circle.
Yeah, I know. Even in New York, we were talking to the people in the agency that we went over there, and they were saying even though it's a big world, it is a very small world at the same time. Yeah. Which I was I didn't realize that at first, but now I definitely do.
It totally is. And to your point there, the New York trip, for example, sometimes new agencies are visited because the agency might be new to the trip,
Yeah.
but the person welcoming us in isn't. It's like they've just moved from somewhere else, and we follow them rather than the agencies per se.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I don't want to butcher it. I know TWA though. TBWA. They had a merger. I don't want to say the companies because I don't know for sure, but I know they had a big merger that happened, and that did cause some confusion maybe. But it was interesting to see that the advertising industry also kind of has those kinds of instances as well.
Yeah, everything is being rationalized right now. I mean, big holding companies that own all of these agencies and may appear unrelated and were at one time. There are very few independents left now. But the independents are where the fun is, That's kind of because you've got more freedom to do brave things for your clients. Not saying that the others don't, but it's they're the punchy ones, and then they get bought out by the big holding companies. And they become part of that family as well. But you still retain that kind of identity, So, but all of these networking opportunities that you've had with HL, with the folks from Book 180, visiting New York, going to the PRSSA events, which also at the portfolio review there were a bunch of students from the PRSSA and from the PR major.
Yeah, I think that was actually really good because I also was trying to tell people hey, if there's a portfolio review happening tomorrow, if you want to come stop by. And I think it was really good that we kind of had them back to back because not only do students get one guest speaking event, they also have a more workshop kind of event the next day where one is more about hearing insights from industry insights, and the other is more you're working on yourself and improving your portfolio and your resume and that kind of stuff. So it was very different, but they are also I think intertwined.
Yeah, exactly. And both organizations are and really should continue to kind of grow together, and help each other out, attend each other's events. And ultimately, our industries are, they're not one, but they're very close to being one. It's, we have more in common than we don't. So, but I think that all of these events happening now, this time of the semester, is great. It'd be nice to see some more happening at the beginning of the semester as well, just to kind of encourage students to kind of go out there and look for internships and before the semester ends and before they graduate, which is always too late by that point.
I know we did have some people from PRSSA come to the New York trip, so I think it also just made us closer in a way. And I was kind of let me support them because they are, I like to call them our sister club because they kind of are. And we did have an event, a collab with them, I believe, sometime this past year, and that went really well too. Everyone got along. They're all in the similar majors and similar interests, and they have similar, ideas for what they want to do in their careers. So I think that also kind of makes people want to talk to each other and get to know one another because they are all pretty like-minded, I would say. So and it is good to surround people. I think it's good to surround yourself with people, who have similar interests with you, but also kind of want to motivate you, to do your best. And I feel that is what Ad Club and PRSSA are about. So definitely in the future, I would love to organize some more collab events, even with Friends of Figma and Adobe. I think that'd be great ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it sounds to me as if you're getting a lot out of networking and collaborations.
No, yeah, I definitely think so. I think it is a way definitely for more people to, grow. I never really saw myself, even into PR before. I was oh yeah, advertising club is cool. I can just get into it. And then I did, and then started learning more about PR because I heard people talking about PRSSA, and I was oh, that's kind of interesting too. And then I remember the first time we did our collab event, I was I've never heard this club before, where did they come from? But then I started meeting the people there and I thought that was so cool. And it was really great to make more connections. Even on the New York trip, the PRSA people, they were interested in working in the agencies, and we all had the same motivations, we had the same interests. And I think that did help us get along as well. And we also do have connects now. I know that if I have a connect somewhere that's they need a PR person, I can refer some of them over. So I think that also is a great way to one of the best things about networking as well, just giving people opportunities and they'll give you opportunities as well. I personally, I know that if I would have an opportunity for someone to work somewhere, I would totally refer somebody that I know who's best for that position. I remember one time in one of the very first meetings that I went to in Ad Club, we had a guest speaker. I can't remember, they worked at an agency, or no, they were a freelance art director. And he was saying that, we were talking about networking, and one of the things that he said that always stuck out with me is that while it does matter, who you know, it also matters who knows you.
Yeah.
And that really stuck with me. So now I do try to keep that in my mind.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. So that's your bit of advice as we close the conversation, right? Thank you so much, Jasmine. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and it's exciting to see that Ad Club and PRSSA are doing such cool stuff right now, you know, and here's to like next year and see what else you can do. Yeah,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're going to be closing the season next week with the conversation with graduating seniors, as we tend to do. So until then, thanks for watching, listening, or whatever, if you're out there. So thank you so much.